Although the police media spokesperson appealed to all drivers to abide by the law, 9 persons have been killed in the past 17 hours. In the meantime, News First embarked on an adventure of a different kind as it took to the skies in a hot air balloon. The details of these stories and more coming up right now. Hello there, very good evening and welcome to your Primetime News Bulletin. I'm Shayan Silva. As always, let's start off with a look at your headlines. 9 individuals killed over the past 17 hours following 7 motor accidents. 1,172 temporary homes damaged following a strong wind in the Manik Farm Welfare Centre. Karu Jayasuriya says Srinath Pereira Committee report is a culmination of preconceived partial course of action. And Aung San Suu Kyi competes for public office after 1990.
The terrorism has been eradicated, but now we have another terrorist problem, that is accidents. So every day in year 2010, 2,579 fatal accidents have been reported and 2,721 have been killed. And in addition to that, 6,124 accidents have been reported in respect of grievous hurt. In year 2011, 2,471 accidents have been reported and 2,664 persons have been killed. And in addition to that, 6,675 persons have been critically injured. In year 2012, 580 fatal accidents have been reported and 590 persons have been killed, and in addition to that 1,269 persons have been injured.
Law-abiding drivers are necessary to avert this second form of terrorism which the police media spokesperson describes. However, this task is proving to be extremely difficult as 9 people were killed in motor accidents over the last 17 hours which ended at 7 a.m. today.
A motor accident involving a private bus and a car took place during the early hours of this morning in close proximity to the Kothalawala area on the New Kandy Road, which comes under the purview of the Navagamua police. 2 people were killed and 7 individuals suffered injuries when a bus transporting a group of garment workers collided with a car plying towards Kaduwela. According to the police, the accident occurred as a result of the bus driver's negligence. The bus, which was travelling at high speed, had collided with the car and had resulted in the death of the driver of the car as well as a woman who was travelling within it. The woman has been identified as a 49-year-old resident of the Depanama area in Pannipitiya. She had been travelling to Kurunagala to seek medical treatment for her 17-year-old child. The child and the servant, who were also in the vehicle at the time of the accident, are currently receiving treatment at the ICU of the Colombo National Hospital.
The child is not in good condition. The driver died on the spot. Another adult is also critical. Our auntie was lost. That void cannot be filled.
Meanwhile, the driver of the car has been identified as a 29-year-old resident of the Polwata area in Pannipitiya. According to the police, the driver of the bus has fled the scene of the crime and investigations have been launched to apprehend him. Meanwhile, the negligent behaviour of yet another bus driver resulted in another motor accident, this time in the Kegol area. 2 people were killed when a bus plying from Panadura to Kandy collided with a van plying towards Colombo. 6 passengers of the bus were also injured as a result of the accident. The accident had occurred when the bus had attempted to overtake another vehicle. The deceased have been identified as residents of the Adhikarigama area in Davagoda. One of the victims has been identified as a 56-year-old businessman and a father of 3. The other victim has been identified as a 43-year-old father of 2 who served as the driver of the van. Yet another motor accident took place in the Gannoru area, which falls under the purview of the Hambantota police, when a motorbike collided with another vehicle. Of the 2 women who were travelling on the bike, 1 individual was killed while another suffered injuries. Meanwhile, a pedestrian was killed when he was knocked down by a 3-wheeler in the Puhulwell area along the Mathura Hakmana Road. The accident took place at around 4 p.m. yesterday. Meanwhile, yet another death was reported from the Yatamalwat area along the Golmapalagama Road in the Nagoda Police Division. A motorcyclist who was unable to control his bike was killed after he collided with another motor vehicle. The incident occurred at around 9 p.m. yesterday. An accident also took place in close proximity to the Haggala Botanical Gardens along the Nuvarelia Badulla main road. One individual was killed after a three-wheeler slid off the road and tumbled into a precipice at 8 p.m. yesterday. Another motorcyclist was killed yesterday following an accident which occurred in the Kadagahapole area in the Naramala Police Division at around 11:30 last night.
The police is going to take stern action against the indisciplined drivers. So they are dealt with the traffic law, and in addition to that, the criminal law. So there is a requirement to implement the recent legislation, the recent act passed by the legislator in order to remove or expel the indisciplined drivers from the profession.
Experts are of the opinion that the ARPM examination, which is held to recruit graduates holding foreign medical degrees into the Public Health Service of Sri Lanka, should be addressed in accordance with an internationally accepted system.
Newsfirst reported previously on the problems being faced by individuals holding foreign medical degrees. Since then, the problems in recruiting individuals to the medical service in Sri Lanka have been brought up by various factions. Recently, the Sri Lanka Medical Council took measures to resolve the issue. This measure was to recorrect the ERPM examinations held last December. However, the attention of many factions have been directed towards how fair the current system of recruiting medical graduates to the public health service is.
The cut-off mark is decided every time by the Medical Council based on various pressures or without any reasoning at all. The cut-off mark is set at 40 or 50, sometimes 50 or 67.5, and then again they bring it down to 45. There is no scientific basis in this.
Individual nations follow different systems when recruiting foreign medical graduates to their respective medical services. In Western countries such as the US and England, and even in Asian nations such as India, the accepted system is the popular Angkor method. In this method, the predicted difficulty of individual questions is calculated, and the cut-off mark for the examination is decided by calculating the average of the sum of the values. Chairman of the Sri Lanka Medical Council accepts that an internationally accepted and certified mechanism is more suitable than a marking system that is subject to continuous change based on different mechanisms.
We all accept that this must be held as transparently as possible. None of us are against going towards an accepted system that is followed in other countries. It is just a matter of practicality. Foreign medical graduates point out that the Sri Lanka Medical Council has also disregarded some recommendations made by court on the 20th of July 2011 after a case was filed on the ERPM examination. The graduates, who had also previously filed a case stating that they were being treated unfairly, said that they are still being subjected to vengeful action. Over the past 10 years, everyone was given the same number, and through this, we have been individually identified. We are identified, and then those who file cases, those who went against them are failed. Then the court ordered that everyone be issued a number in alphabetical order. But then they held two examinations. This is the one they held in December, and this is how they identify us by issuing two numbers. It has previously been recommended that the selection exam or the ERPM examination be conducted by the University Grants Commission. As the chairman of the bench, I decreed that it is suitable for the UGC to do this. The petitioners agreed to that. I thought that a positive response was not received from the SLC, the Medical Council. I proposed that this must be accepted. I can see that this problem is still being dragged on. It affects a small number of individuals, but I believe that this is a serious injustice for them, and therefore we must look at this from the students' side.
So there are a lot of good people, eminent people, educated people in the medical council. But they have been controlled by a bunch of, I would say, 8 people who are elected by the doctors. Others keep quiet. They know what is right and wrong, but they don't voice their opinion. So this is the tragedy.
Can't an internationally accepted system be used in recruiting doctors to the public health service?
None of us are against going towards an accepted system that is followed in other countries. It is just a matter of practicality.
Meanwhile, the Doctors' Union against private medical colleges had convened a media briefing today.
It is at a time where private medical colleges turned out to be unsuccessful and taken over by the government, as there was no confidence in them, and being a government which came into power saying that the education sector will not be privatized or sold, that the Malabay Private Medical College has been launched. It is clear that these fraudsters have exploited the opportunity, as the government and the Higher Education Minister were only concerned about creating private medical colleges, and they did not put forward any conditions. On the other hand, this is a business to extort money from parents whose wish is to somehow see their child become a doctor.
දෙමව්පියන් තමන්ගේ ළමයා වෛද්‍යවරයෙක් බවට පත් කිරීමේ මොනෑම් හෝ සිහිනයකින් හෝ ආකල්පකින් පෙළෙන දෙමව්පියන් රවට්ටල මුදල් කරා ගැනීමේ ව්‍යාපාරයකට මේක පාදගෙන තියෙනවා.
In other local stories, a new building complex which houses an auditorium was declared open at the Anand Maitri Central College in Balangoda yesterday. The chief guest at the occasion was President Mahinda Rajapaksa. Speaking at the occasion, the President noted that the issues being faced by the country should not be passed on to the younger generation. At the occasion, 10 mothers who had given birth to over 8 children were felicitated by the President. The felicitation ceremony was known as Abhiman Mata.